Welcome. Today we're going to learn how to use a new program called Dreamweaver. So the first thing that you'll need to do is actually open the program. So I go down to my Windows icon and click on the button and then search. So if I just type in Dream, then you can see the best match should pop up here. Now this has to be done on the desktop. This is not installed on your laptop because of a license issue. When you click it, it's going to open the program and we'll eventually get to this screen. When you open it the first time though, it does take a little bit longer. So you can see from the main screen we have three different options. We can open, we can create something that's new, or get a little bit more help if we need to learn something about the program. Today we're just going to actually open up to get used to the program in the different parts of the screen. We're going to go under Create New and click on HTML. Now this will give you several different options here as well. For document type, we are going to leave it as a new HTML document, so we have just a standard web page. And then I click on Create. Now that's going to pop open a blank page. This is a web page, so we can see up here, here is the title of the page because of course we haven't saved it yet. This is where that page is located because it's not saved yet. If I go down to the bottom, remember that document title where we used to have to add it into our header? That's our document title. So we've got to understand the different parts of the screen so that if I say, okay, go to the Files panel, you'll actually know what that is. So instead of working from the new document, let's actually close, and we're going to open a page that we created through HTML. So you're going to go ahead and go find your IAM page for HTML, and double click to open that page. Be prepared to be amazed. So I open the page, there is everything. So in just a second we should see my marquee come scrolling across, and this is my page preview. Now the cool thing about this program is that if I wanted to click in here and change something about it, then that's what I do. I just go in, I type in, and it'll actually highlight whatever that is and change a couple of things in our screen. So right here, this is my paragraph, but if I click on my picture, then it's going to let me edit my picture down here in my properties panel. If I wanted to do an image map, oh yes, I said it, I can actually just do that from here very easily. So all the items that you have on your page are still there, but we didn't have to code it. Now, we're going to start looking at a couple of different parts of the screen, and I want you to actually go back to Canvas, and if you go back into, make sure I'm under the page here, where you found this video. So this video is under Dreamweaver, and this is Intro to Dreamweaver. So Intro to Dreamweaver, and I can see here, click here to download the notes file. So if I click and download, I want to open up, this is going to be a notes page for what you see on the screen. So I'm going to do enable editing, and then as you learn the different parts of the screen, so as I tell you, this bar right here is called the menu bar. Then we're going to come type that into our notes page, so that way you have something to go back to help you remember the different parts of the screen. This is not Microsoft, so it's very much so different. So we've got our notes page. I'm going to minimize, go back to Dreamweaver, and we're going to check a couple of things out. So the first thing that I want to show you is probably what I think makes this program so much easier to use. A couple of screens up here at the top. Right now I'm in the live view, which means if I publish this page, this is what it would look like. If I wanted to, I could click on code. Oh my gosh, and there it is. There's all of the code that we've entered, and that's how we made this page, but we didn't have to do that. So we could actually have used Dreamweaver and actually typed it in, and it would code it for us. And that's what we're looking at. So Code View lets you see everything just in code. Split lets you see both screens, of course, but we're going to go to Live where you actually see the live preview. But if you know how to do something in code and you'd like to go back, you click on Code, and see, since I clicked on my picture, it even highlighted that line. So you definitely got some choices there. Now once we've got the page open, we can see the different views. Let's go ahead and take a look at the different parts of the screen. So the very top one here, File, Edit, View, Insert, Modify, this is called your menu bar. So just like at a restaurant where you have the words on the menu and you pick what you want from the menu, these are your choices here for Dreamweaver. So if we were going to change something about the way you know, our paragraph is set up, or if we wanted to adjust something to heading 1, I could go here. I could also go down there. But this is called our menu bar. So File, Edit, View, Insert. This section, number 1 in your vocabulary sheet, is menu bar. Now, from there, we're going to go ahead and go down to the next item, which is, we've got 2 different toolbars here. So even though it doesn't look like it, I'm going to right click and take off the document. And I want you to watch this line and this line. So if I take off document, you can see that we lost that top one where we had the views. It's not there anymore. So that's actually our document toolbar. Now, if by chance, when you open yours, if both of these aren't showing, you can do the same thing. If you right click here in the blank space, you can make sure that both of those are turned on. You can also go under View, Toolbars, and then make sure that both of those are checked. So again, if you don't see where it says Code Split Live, then you're missing the document toolbar. And if we're missing these items, this is our standard toolbar. So that is item number 2 and item number 3 on your vocabulary sheet. We have document toolbar and then the standard toolbar. All right, moving on. This giant area here in the middle of the page, this is actually the body of our web page, but we call it our workspace. So item 4, we've got workspace. Your workspace is exactly what it sounds like. It's where you do your work in your program in Dreamweaver. Right? We're going to keep moving down here to the bottom section. This whole section on the bottom is called our Properties Inspector. Properties Inspector. The Properties Inspector is what lets me change something. So here I've got a link, right? Well, what if I want to edit something about that link? Maybe I don't like it set as a heading 3, I want to change it to a heading 2. I can do that. I can do that all in one fell swoop. And remember how we had to do our ahref and we had to go back and link? We could have just typed it in just like that. Or click on the little file button here and tell it what that gets attached to. So linking will show up in the properties panel if you're clicked in a link or if you're working with a link. So this again here is your Properties Inspector. Now it changes. So if I click on the paragraph, then the properties are going to be about the paragraph. If I click on the picture, the properties down here are going to be about the picture. If I click in an unordered list, then it's going to give me that information there too. You can also see down here in the bottom of the Properties Inspector is where your document title is. So your document title is what would show up if we were actually looking at the code view. That is our document title there. So again, we don't even have to add that to our page now in code. Now we're just going to make sure that it's entered here. That is still a necessary part though. So this is item number 5, Properties Inspector. Moving on, over here to the right hand side of the screen, this whole giant section with all of these boxes, these are called your panels. So item number 6, panels. Now we're generally going to look at this one panel here, which is called File Panel. Ooh, I just thought of something. Some of you may not see Properties Inspector. I remember when I opened my screen for the first time, it wasn't there. So if you're looking and you don't have where it says Properties here down on the bottom, you can actually go to Window, and then we want to click on Properties so that that part of the screen will actually show. So if I click off of it, you can see it's disappeared and it's actually still there. But if I just click on Properties there, it'll expand or it'll collapse. So there's my expand and collapse button. I can open it, I can close it. So if you don't see it, then that's what you would need to do. Window, Properties, and then make sure it's showing down there on the bottom. All right, so back to number 6 over here. This whole section are called our panels. Now we're going to be working mostly with the Files panel, where it shows you folders that you're working with, pictures you're working with, and pages. Now this has nothing to do with this page, so we can ignore it for right now, but you do need to know that this is called your panel group. So panels are there on the right. I did show you one expand collapse button. I'm afraid the screen's going to cut it off right here just a little bit. This little button here in the bottom will let you expand or collapse your screen. And then the same little button exists up here. So I believe number 7 should be expand/collapse. So I can collapse, I can expand. And it's important to note, just so that if it disappears, you're like, oh my gosh, you can go back and find it pretty easy. So we're going to expand that back open. Just a couple more parts to go. Moving on, we're looking at number 8, window size. Down here in the bottom right hand of your screen, this is actually going to tell you what size screen you're working with. So if you wanted to set it up so that you're working on an iPhone screen and you're working with what the size of that screen would look like, you can actually change that or just pick one on your own. It's always set in landscape, but if you needed to change it, you could do that here too. So this is your window size. And if I mouse over, you can see window size. So that is item number 8. Now we are moving on to the button right beside it, which is our preview button. Now this is actually preview in browser, where if I click on the down arrow and I wanted to see, all right, what would this page look like if I opened it in Google Chrome? Then this is what it would look like. All the changes, remember how I changed this to heading 2? It's there. So everything should be updated, and it's super easy to go see and preview what it would actually look like published online. So this is our preview button. Now you do have a couple of other choices here. Device preview, specific to one device, where you can actually push it out and scan a QR code and open it on your device to look like what it would look like. This one, this little red X is telling me, if I click on it, that I actually have a lot of output errors because we didn't put some stuff in quotation marks. It got angry at us. And technically, you're supposed to with HTML, but that was just one less thing for us to worry about, so we didn't really worry about it. I'm going to click back on Properties, go back to our menu here. And then our final item, item number 10, is called our Tag Inspector. So if I click here on this item, the Properties panel changes, but right above that, this little section here will actually show me that I'm in the body. Font is still open. This is something that we're working with. I've started an unordered list, which is right there, and then I am working on one of the list items in that list. So this is called your Tag Inspector. Tag Inspector. So it's your HTML Tag Inspector. It's inspecting your tags to make sure that everything is working. Now those are the parts of the screen. So what we're going to do is work with those a little bit more to actually start creating a website together in HTML inside of Dreamweaver.